What is up, universe? I am Taylor, and yeah, the camera's all cattywampus today, and I don't care. I'm tired, I'm old, I'm cranky. It's on a crappy little tripod with a crappy little ring light, and it keeps falling off a crappy little bar stool, because that's how I roll. It's a really janky setup, but it's got my iPhone on, and it kind of works, and it is what it is. I dicked around with it until I just stopped wanting to dick. You know, I get tired of dicking. I got 30 good seconds of dicking, then I'm done. Anyways, this is the Cranky Comic Book Review Show. It is November 16th, 2022. The year's almost over. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is. Uncle Trumpy's running for president again, and so the whole world's going to fucking end by 2024 anyways. It's a goddamn nightmare world we're living in, people. Goddamn nightmare world. Anyways, worst to best, everybody, there aren't any rules. There's chaos. You could be impeached twice and run for president again. So there's no fucking rules. We're just going to do this whenever I want. Worst to best. Let's do it. All right. This is issue number 2 of The Life and Death of the Brave Captain Suave. Is it called The Brave? Yeah, The Brave Captain Suave. Scout Comics. It's written by Joseph Saraki and art by Kelly Williams. I read issue number 1, and it was a one-trick pony. It's that sort of a Don Quixote-ish tale of a homeless guy that thinks he's a superhero. Is he a superhero? Kind of doubtful, but you never know. I was like, well, I'll give it another issue because maybe more things will be revealed. And maybe things will progress. Maybe there'll be some kind of expansion to the universe, and we'll get to know some stuff. And I kind of dug the art. Issue number 2. Kind of dig the art. There's nothing new about this. I mean, there's like technically a plot advances, but you don't learn any more about the main character or whether or not he might actually be tilting at windmills or actually really chasing dragons. There's nothing to it. I'm guessing by the end of this miniseries, there'll be some kind of resolution to it, but I'm not along for the ride. Like I said, I like the art. Art kind of reminds me of Andrea Moody, not quite at Andre Moody's level, but pretty decent. Kelly Williams is a decent artist, and I do like the kind of watercolory wash feel that you know they give the story. But the story, there's just nothing much really to it. It's just a homeless guy with a sidekick doing homeless guy now sidekick things. I don't know. Didn't do it for me. It's not awful. Maybe I'll pick it up if it gets collected in trade. Scout Comics are kind of hard for me to get my LCS anyways. I just saw it. I was like, well, I'll probably pick it up and just see. And I don't know. It's fine, but it's not fantastic. And there's a lot of that this week, really. There's some decent stuff, but there's a lot of fine, but not fantastic. For instance, next we have, and this almost could be worse than the first one. This is the Star Wars Hidden Empire number 1. Okay, and I am not a regular Star Wars reader. I'm a sucker every once in a while for the FOMO and the new appearances and whatever. It's written by Charles Soule. This takes place after Crimson Reign, Crimson Empire, Crimson Doom, Crimson Dawn. The last Crimson goddamn miniseries. I did read that, and it was disappointing because it didn't really do anything. And this kind of sort of progresses the fact that Kira's a badass, willing to do anything to take down the Empire. Except it's set in the middle of continuity, so you know she doesn't do shit. And that kind of really spoils some of this story. It wouldn't be bad if the actual story was interesting, but there really isn't much story here. They find something called a Fermati, or I don't know, some kind of cage that's supposed to do something with Sith Lords. It's kind of unclear. And the first half of this book is just a goddamn super verbose, super wordy, super long exposition dump. It's not interesting storytelling. Nothing really happens in here to make it interesting. And the art by Cummings, it doesn't do it for me. It's thick, really thickly inked, and really kind of just, I don't know, okay. Like, everything about this book screams like okay. But there's nothing great. Like that's a typical page. Like, you don't really capture the Emperor's likeness. You get weird facial expressions while talking that are supposed to be choking. And look, you get the shadow of the ring light on there. And it's fine, but it was $5 and it doesn't do much at all for me, at all. So this is my own fault. I picked it up out of FOMO because there's first appearance of a Fermati, Fubicelli, whatever, some kind of cage in here. And I fell prey to the key collector trap, people. I was like, it's the key collector's key of the week. I saw it. I should probably get it. It's the key of the week. It's $5 cover price. It might be $5.75 next week. Maybe $6.25. Maybe $7 even. Don't do that. Just don't be me. Just buy good books and read good books. And like, if you want to spec, but like, don't do what I did on that one. It's a pretty disappointing book. All right, next. We have, and we got a lot of Marvel books this week. No DC for reasons. I am going to get I know I've said this past couple weeks in a row, but I really am picking up the DC on Universe Unlimited. Your mom's a dirty girl / $100 a month, whatever the fuck it is. That thing, Unlimited, DC Unlimited, extra special Universe edition, Magnum sized, where you can read everything for $100 for the year. I'm going to get that. And I'll start catching up on some of the shit. I'm probably not going to review it every week and every month for some of them because I'm already a month back on it, so I might just like throw in a couple story arcs I've read or whatever. We'll see how it goes. I don't really know yet. I'm just kind of winging all this crap. There's no script to any of this. I literally just stacked these books 3 seconds ago and said, that's the order that'll work for today. So yeah, anyways, Marvel, Captain America and the Winter Soldier special #1. There's no Captain America in this book. I like Bucky Barnes as a character, and I like... Yeah, like Bucky Barnes is a character. That's kind of about it. The writing, it's not bad. It sort of gets into this whole secret cabal, because you can't have an America book without a secret cabal behind everything right now, can you? So you learn the world power behind it. It's probably been told in the pages of Captain America already, like the main gist of this, honestly. Because they basically say, continuing back into Captain America, and they're like, oh yeah, from the pages of Captain America. So if you've been reading Captain America, this book is goddamn useless to you. Nothing else happens in here other than you learn that Bucky Barnes does something with that position of power. And maybe you'll learn a little bit more about the backstory of them. The art really drags us down. It reminds me of a really shitty version of John Romita Jr. And I don't love John Romita Jr.'s new stuff. I liked some of his older shit on Daredevil and some of his like other earlier works. I think he's not... His new stuff is bad, and this is worse. This book shouldn't exist. It should just be another issue of Captain America. But it's Marvel. They can't help themselves. They're like, oh, there's no Captain America in this, so we're just gonna have to pull it out and make it like a separate issue, a separate special to sell more shit. And it just drives me nuts when they do that. Just tell a good story and put it in the main continuity of the title you're talking about. This is not awful. It's really not. But other than the art is pretty bad. Like the Lansing, or is it Walker? I don't know. There's 5 names on the cover, and I'm not opening this damn thing up. But the artist does not do well with facial expressions or faces, especially. And then the story, it's an intriguing setup issue of a thing that gets set up as a setup in a one-shot. That's just a setup. Stop setting shit up and just tell a story. All right. Are we going in this order? Yeah, we're going in this order. What the hell? Next, we have I Hate Fairyland, or as this cover says, Fuck Fairyland, #1. I never read the first volume of this. I know it's Scotty Young, and I think Scotty Young did the art on the first volume, I believe, maybe not. Again, have not read it. He's not doing the art this time around. It's Bean on the art. We're going to Sean Bean? Probably not right, but I'm also not opening it up. The art's okay. It's an over-the-top, fun, ridiculous story. If you like things like Tank Girl, and you like things... probably like I Hate Fairyland Volume 1, or just want like a stupid, silly story about beating people up and getting fired from jobs, this is for you. It's an entertaining thing. It's not going to be enough for me to keep up with it. I'll probably read it collected, and I might try and hunt down like a trade of it. Now I did actually open it and see who the artist is. It's Brett Bean, not Sean. Sean Bean dies in every show. Anyways. So you get like fun, bright, over the top, gross out kind of humor stuff with a lot of like exaggerated faces, and it's pretty well done. I do think I probably would have preferred Scotty Young drawing this, I get the reason behind all the candy kind of bright, super saturated colors, and yeah, I don't have anything awful to say about this. It's just there's not much to it. I've read other Scotty Young stuff that I like better, like The Me You Love in the Dark, and I've heard really good things about Middle West. I've not read it. On my list, like a lot of shit. But yeah, and I liked his Strange Academy as a writer. This is like, I think, just kind of a release valve for him, where he's like, we're going to make a dumb, stupid book. And that's what this is. It's a dumb, stupid book. Not a stupid, dumb book. That's entirely different. But this is a dumb, stupid book. All right, next. We have the ending to this one, and I think I missed an issue. I blame my LCS or I transitioned to the move and I didn't get it. But this is Above Snakes, issue number 5, the ultimate issue, the end, the last issue. So I think I missed the penultimate issue. This wraps up this tale of vengeance and a story arc in a satisfying way. Hayden Sherman's art is the strength of this. The writing is fine. Sean Lewis is not awful as a writer. My complaint with the first 3 issues of the book was it didn't really go anywhere to progress the revenge tale. And issue 4 is probably pretty key to this. There are a lot of splash pages in this, and it does sort of feel like, I know it doesn't feel like a rushed resolution. It's just like, if you're reading the synopsis or the story point, the story arc of the book, you'd think there'd be more to it. Like, you'd think there'd be like a few more steps along the way before the resolution. But it's a satisfying enough ending to this thing. And really, if you like Hayden Sherman's art, you're probably going to really like this book. I'd say pick it up just for that. Get it in a trade. Otherwise, it's probably cheaper. And yeah, I don't think there's a sequel to it coming. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's a 5 and done. I've read worse, but yeah, I dug it. So, all right. And next, this one's been a while. I can't remember when the last one came out, but it feels like months. Something is Killing Your Mom, number 26. Not a bad issue. Not a bad issue. Not much happens because it's James Tynion in the 14th, and that's how he rolls. He's just a slow burn son of a bitch. It's just still a slow burn thing. You get like things picking off from the next issue, and you get set up for the next from the previous issue, and you get set up for the next issue. That's what he's good at. He's giving you just enough to leave you hanging. Thankfully, Werther Deladara's art is not as annoying as it's possible. I don't know if maybe he's watched my reviews and he's like, maybe I shouldn't do these long, skinny panels that just go all the way across the page and make no damn sense. Maybe I should just learn to tell a story traditionally and be fine at it. Probably not. There are a few paid panels in here where there's a brother and sister that are a little bit confusing because they're drawn fairly similarly, but you can figure it out from contextual clues what's going on. And it does look like something bad is down the pipeline for our plucky heroine, whose name I didn't remember, Sarah Slaughter, Sam Slaughter, Slaughter your mom, what the hell? Erica Slaughter, yeah. It's still an enjoyable book. It's not changing the world. It's, all the spec value is probably leaked out of this long ago. We're 26 issues in. But, if you want a fun horror romp that really doesn't go anywhere fast, get something that's killing the children. You can do worse. But yeah, I think Deladara's art took a leap up in this, or at least his panel composition took a leap up in this. So there's that. And the paper quality actually seemed better than normal in this. Maybe I'm nuts, but it seemed like it was a pretty decent stock this time around. So I don't know. Maybe the time off did them some good. Something is Killing the Children, number 26. I don't love that cover, but whatever. All right, next, we have one I did not expect to care for very much, but I kind of don't hate it. And it's Murderworld Avengers number 1. This is there's commentary on YouTubers and fame in here, and there's commentary on, I don't know, it's not commentary much. The commentary that exists is pretty kiddie pool shallow. What it is like a murder death trap book, and I'm a sucker for murder death trap books. If you like the Squid Games or you like Hunger Games or any of those gamey games kind of shows, where 100 billion people enter, one person lives, and you get arcade at the bottom of this. It's because it's Murderworld. You can't have Murderworld arcade. It's Zub and Fox in the writing with Morales and the art. The art is okay. It's not going to change the world, but if you want just a fun arcade being evil kind of story, this is pretty decent. And it's got an ending that you're like, oh, well, all right, that's what we're doing with this one. So I dug the ending. The ending was enough to put it this high on the list. And it's not going to be a super crazy long review on this one because I don't want to give away much. But I guess the Avengers are in it, but it doesn't focus on them. And I kind of like that it doesn't focus on them. If you're a fan of Mr. Beast or any of the bigger YouTube personalities, you might get a little bit of a chuckle of what happens in here. So, I don't know. I don't also love the typeface on the cover on this one. It just blends into a hot mess, but it is what it is. So, yeah, next. Another one I did not expect to like as much as I did, but I really kind of dug it. It's a character I don't give a shit about generally, and a cover that's really dark and hard to tell, but it is Blade, Vampire Nation. It's a one-shot, and it's a one-shot by Marvel that I did not hate. It's written by Mark Russell, and that has a lot to do with it. Mark Russell is a solid writer, writes some kind of nice satirical books, and has written some really nice stuff. Art by Dave Wachter, who I'm not familiar with, but the art also solid. For a one-shot Marvel book. This is really well done. It's Blade and they're Dracula in cahoots ish. Dracula's like running this vampire country, and I didn't know all this going in. So like you don't have to know everything about the past history of the Blade and Dracula. You'll pick it up. What is what I'm saying? Like Dracula runs a country. It's in like Eastern Europe or somewhere like that, and Blade is being tasked by Dracula to go find a vampire killer. Because the country that Dracula runs is full of vampires, and that's the setup for the book. I'm not going to spoil any more than that, but it's pretty interestingly well done. It's got enough twists and turns to it. It's got solid art. It's not an action-packed romp, but it's also not a snooze fest. It's paced pretty well. You get some fun revelations. You get Blade being a bit of a badass in here, and you get Dracula being a bit of a badass in here. And I would read the hell out of a ongoing Mark Russell Blade book because I think he takes enough. Okay, honestly, he does not focus on the damn character of Blade at all. There's not much Blade. Like Blade is throughout the book, but he doesn't focus on the character of Blade. He focuses on the sort of events that have happened around the murder, and I think that's probably okay. I don't understand why Blade and Dracula are getting along, but I don't need to. It's not going to destroy things. I think Blade's still hunting vampires, but I think the way he's doing it, this is kind of interesting. And yeah, it's a solid one-shot book by Marvel. Really, Mark Russell is one of the better writers out there right now, and I dig his stuff, and that's no different. Normally he writes like these 4 or 5 issue minis, like One Star Squadron or stuff like that, but I like his kind of concise, tight, one-and-done story there. All right, and then we have another one that I didn't really expect to like as much as I did either. Junkyard Joe #2. This is set in the world of Geiger. It's written by Jeff Johns and the art by Gary Frank, and yeah, this is great. Jeff Johns is expanding his Geiger universe. The first issue of Junkyard Joe took place in Vietnam, where you get to meet Junkyard Joe, this robot. And this one time jumps to the quote-unquote the present day, whenever that is. And it shifts a bit of the point of view, and you learn a few other things. And like at first you're not, I wasn't really sure how it was going or where it led. But the ending on this one was solid enough to keep it up. And I think it's going to be a fun little mini. And also, the story told in the middle of it it's not a waste of a story. It's just kind of not what I was expecting. It's fairly, I'm not going to say poignant, but it does have a little bit of a nostalgia to it and some sense of history and weight of what characters have gone through. It's not deep and it's not diving into that a whole lot, but you get some of that here. And I like this a lot. Honestly, I kind of might even like this better than Geiger. I didn't hate Geiger by any means. That was a fun superhero book too. And not superhero is a weird term, and so is a weird term for this book too. It's not really a hero book, but yeah, you get a continuation of issue #1 that was pleasantly well done, and took the book in a direction I was not expecting. So, Junkyard Joe #2, and then my favorite book of the week, and probably my favorite cover of the week too. This is Simmons. It's a variant cover. This is 10,000 Black Feathers #3 by Jeff Lemire and Andre Sorrentino, colored by Dave Stewart. This is great. I've not read all of Gideon Falls, but I've read the first arc, and I've read other things by Jeff Lemire and Andre Sorrentino, like Primordial, and I can't remember what else. But they're a great team. Like they play to each other's strengths, I think. Like Jeff Lemire lets the art shine through without being overly verbose. He doesn't feel the need to like fill the page with dialogue or fill the page with exposition. Instead, he lets the art kind of tell the story and like plods it along with just enough dialogue and just enough like direction where you're never really lost as to what's going on. Well, kind of. There's mystery in here, but it's purposeful mystery. So you're lost when you're supposed to be lost, but you're not lost at other times. And it's dark and gothic and creepy and eerie. And it's just pushing the story along just enough where you're like, yeah, that I kind of want to know what's going on. And he also like there's enough experimental storytelling panels and stuff, so you get some Sorrentino-isms, as it were. But yeah, it's a fun book. And like what it is like 10,000 Black Feathers is set in the Boneyard mythos. It's Jeff Lemire's and Andre Sorrentino's collected horror universe. And the first thing was a graphic novel that came out. Now they're doing this miniseries, and I think the next one's going to be another hardcover volume. So they're mixing up the formats with these stories, and they're telling things that I think are eventually going to all tie together in some way. But you get the mysterious characters in here. You get falling apart friendships. You get a lot of Lemireisms too. So if you like Lemire's writing and you like Sorrentino's art, I recommend it. I would say maybe start with the graphic novel first, which I can't remember what that one's called, Skeleton something, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's my favorite book of the week. Probably my favorite cover too. So there you go. Kind of short reviews because I gotta get a sandwich. I'm hungry, and this has been going all day long. So all right, thanks for watching, everybody. I love you all. Don't be a dick, even if you can't remember what the hell DC's Universe Unlimited thingy is called ever. And you keep saying you're going to buy it, and then you never do. And then you're like, well, your reviewer's kind of a dick. So don't be like me. Don't be a dick. See ya.